Hey guys, welcome back to my colourful country life. It is time again for my completed pages video. I feel like I've just filmed last month's completed pages. November has flown by way too fast, and I imagine December is going to go by just as quick too. I have so much going on this next month. It's going to be nuts, as it probably is for everybody. It is that crazy time of the year. And of course the kids start their summer holidays in a couple of weeks too, and then they don't go back to school again until sometime in February. So I actually didn't think I coloured as much as I did this month with everything going on. Kids' summer sports have started up. I've got my veggie garden growing again. It's been stinking hot here, so I've been taking the kids swimming after school and on the weekends. Had a couple of snake encounters already, and the season has only just begun. Oh, and a runaway cow. Yeah, so that's how it's going at the moment. So on that note, I will move this out of the way and we'll get into it. I think I have 9 completed pages to show you today and a couple of WIPs to share as well. So let's get this out of the way. All right, let me just quickly zoom you in a little bit. Okay, now we're nice and close. Let's get started with Magical Worlds, a new book from Joanna Basford. Also, I haven't done a review for this book yet. I do normally do my reviews after I've coloured the first page in the book, but I know there's so many flip throughs and reviews out there at the moment already. Most of you likely already have purchased the book, so I don't think I'm going to do a review. But if you do want one, let me know in the comments and I can organise that, and we can sit down and have a chat about my thoughts on the book. Otherwise, let's get into it. So I coloured 2 pages in here this month. Both are up on the channel as a colour along. Also, I'll link all the colour alongs and any other videos that I mentioned today down in the description box of the video if you want to go over and watch it. So let's start from the back here, and this first page I coloured was the floating island page, and I started this page with all the greenery, and there is a lot of greenery on this page. I have to admit, when I started colouring it, I wasn't liking how it was going, which made me get a little bit bored with the page. I did put it aside for a few days. Now, this does happen to me sometimes where I kind of lose my mojo or my direction for the page. And when that happens, I just need to walk away for a little bit and come back to it when the inspiration hits again. Usually it takes a day or two. I just need to be in the right frame of mind to colour it. And having said all that, I do love the page. Once I came back to it, I was able to get right into it and enjoy the process. And it actually made it that much more satisfying to complete after that too. And I do love a good clouded background. I used a Distress Inks and my cloud stencil as well. Such a quick and easy technique for a background. I have had a few comments about Distress Inks lately, and I do have an older video on how to use Distress Inks, which I'll tag up above. That might need to be updated. It was a while ago, I think, that I filmed that. So I can do a updated how to use Distress Inks video if you'd like to see that too. The rest of the page was coloured with Prismacolor pencils. I used both Artex and Toolyart acrylic markers to cover black lines, and also just to add some little finishing touches here on our little flowers. There's a little bit of sparkle pop on the inside of the flowers and some jelly roll glazes as well. I'll just see if I can pick up any of that sparkle from the sparkle pop. Don't know if it's going to pick up on camera. Oh, maybe you can see it there. So I wanted the house and the boat shed to match, as if the boat shed is kind of like a mini version of the home. Then the sheds, or the little cubby houses, if you wish, I wanted them to be different colours, but I matched them to be the same colour. So different to the house and the boat shed, but matching. And other than all the greenery on the page, I did try to keep it to 4 main colours. So you've got pink and purple, blue and orange. And I think the final result is actually quite cohesive. So I do like how that page turned out. It was a little bit of a rough start to the beginning of the month because that was the first page I coloured. And after having such a huge month last month, the mojo was waning a little bit, but it came back in the end, and I love how the page turned out. So the other page I coloured this month is the Mossy Isle page here, and I am so proud of how this page turned out. it came together just how I imagined it in my mind. I wanted something moody and mystical and magical. The colors just worked so well together, and I love how easily it all flows, and it just looks really balanced in my humble opinion, of course. So for this page, I did use Prismacolor pencils for all the pencil work. I've used a bunch of sparkle pops and different jelly rolls on the page. There's a little bit of Tulia white acrylic marker to add some details here, and also on the toadstools. I used the Grizzeye glitter pen on the spider web. I've also got a product review for the glitter pen too up on the channel, which I will link up here for you guys if you're interested. So much sparkle on this page, it is everywhere. The background, I used distress inks to create somewhat of a galaxy effect in the sky. I also used Craft white acrylic paint for the white paint splatters, and the gold sparkle is from my beloved Craft Shimmer Mist. Now, if you can't get the Craft Shimmer Mists where you are in your country, you can get the Imagine Crafts sheer shimmer sprays instead, which are a perfect dupe, and they look very similar on the page as well. And I have to hold this up close just to show you everything and see if we can capture just how shiny it actually is. So the background kind of looks a bit black when it's out of the light, and then once you get it hitting a certain direction, it just sparkles. And can you see the glitz glitter on the spider web? Got the Jelly Roll glazes there too. I used the Jelly Roll Moonlight too. Did I mention that one? The Jelly Roll Moonlight purple on the flowers. The bottle is a glaze, and I think Stardust maybe. Yeah, and the Sparkle Pop is on the blue flowers and the door. But that is all our shimmer and shine. I can't stop looking at this page and how much it sparkles. And I had a bit of an incident here where I dropped my distress ink, my mini distress ink black soot, dropped onto the page. So when I colour this page, I'm going to have to do another dark background. Maybe I'll match the backgrounds actually. That might be a good idea, and that'll cover that up as well. So that is Magical Worlds by Joanna Basford. I am hoping to colour some more in this book in December as well, so keep your eye out for that one. All right, now let's go to another Joanna Basford book. I've coloured 3 different Joanna Basford books this month. So next we have Rooms of Wonder, which is of course our full book colour along on the channel. So for anyone who may be new to my channel, I will be doing a colour along for every page in this book, and all the colour alongs for all the pages already completed can be found in my Rooms of Wonder playlist, which I will tag up here, and I'll also put it in the video description too. So I coloured 1 page in this book this month, and that was the cake shop here. I thoroughly enjoyed colouring this page and all the lovely sweet treats. I didn't really have a picture of this in my head when I started. All I knew was that I wanted blue furniture and silver cake stands. Everything else just kind of grew from there as I got further into colouring the page. And I do say that if a page is daunting to you, focus on one element first, get that coloured, go to the next element, and eventually everything will come together. I was having a discussion with someone about how to colour Kirby pages the other day, and that's what I was suggesting. Just focus on one element and then go to the next one. So I knew I wanted blue furniture, and then I knew I wanted silver cake stands, and from there everything kind of just came together. And I was trying to match some of the colours of the cakes from this page to the cakes on this page too, so I did bring some of those colours across. So I started by colouring the bottles first after I did the cake stands and the furniture, and then I brought those colours up to the different cakes and lollies up above without really adding in any extra colours. Like I said, I brought through this green colour here. We've got this sort of like peachy tone. This one's a little bit more peachy, and then I've got the creamy yellow tones, which I made into more of a golden cake colour instead. And then I just brought some pink in as well, and a little bit of blue through the cakes. And I did use Prismacolor pencils for all the pencil work, lots of Tuli Art white acrylic paint pen to cover the black lines, a big mix of Sparkle Pop pens and jelly rolls. I used so many different ones. The Sparkle Pops, I can see them here already in the orange. I can see the glaze, jelly roll glaze in the green and in the Moonlight, I think, in the blue. I've been using a lot of the Jelly Roll Moonlights this month, actually. But basically, my usual go-to colouring supplies, your Tooly Art white paint pen, your Sparkle Pops, your Jelly Rolls, and your Prismacolors, all that on this page. I think that's all that's on there. I'm just looking, there's no added extra sparkle. Oh, I've got Wink of Stella on the labels of the jars here. And that might be, that could be Wink of Stella on those little, those teardrop shapes. I wasn't sure if that was meant to be like a drop of milk, so they were like the little milk jugs, or if it was supposed to be like a leaf. I don't know, maybe they were bags of wheat or something. Wheat, yeah, flour for cakes. That could have been it, flour bags. For the background, I used Arteza Soft Pastels. I wanted something to continue the bright summery feel of the page, so I went with these sort of pink and orange tones. It was a bit of an interesting, inspired colour choice here, but it worked so well. I think it just sets the rest of the elements off so perfectly. They really just pop off the page, and I'm really happy with the end result. And to keep the balance to the page, I did decide to amend the other page to match. So with the background on the cake shop here, I used the darker colours to the bottom to kind of give an illusion of a floor, and then I brought those colours through to this page, which originally had a super soft pink soft pastel background, but this time I followed more of a circular pattern with the darkest colour on the outside edges. I also changed the ribbon colour too, which I think has really transformed the page. Such a simple little change, which I did with my metallic paints from KJ, designed by Karen, but it is so effective and it just lifts the cakes up. If you have a look at the colour along for the cake shop, at the beginning of the video, you'll see what this page originally looked like. Plus, there is a colour along for the original page up on the channel too. Actually, if I remember, I'll pop a pic up on the screen. I don't know that I have ever taken a picture of this page though, because I haven't ever really been happy with the page. I've always wanted to try to amend it, and I'm glad I did. I feel so much better now when I see this page. It was my least favorite page in the book, and now I really enjoy looking at it. It makes me happy, and that's what it's all about, right? So oh, and the reason I chose a blue ribbon, so blue and orange, they really complement each other really well, and I had the blue and orange on this page too, so I just wanted to bring it through, and I decided to go with a brighter blue just to make it really pop and stand out as well. So that is Rooms of Wonder by Joanna Basford for this month. Okay, so we may as well round out our Joanna Basford pages for the month before we move on to something else. So next I have Small Victories by Joanna Basford, and the page I chose to colour this month, it was such a small, sweet little page. I mean, hence the name of the book, Karen, Small Victories, but it was really quick to colour, so simple, but I think it's really pretty and delicate at the same time. Now, I did film this process. You will find it in my review for the Artex 72 set of watercolour pencils. I did use the watercolour pencils for basing all of the elements on this page, and then I went over the top with the standard 126 set of Artex pencils. So the background is just the watercolours on their own, activated of course, and the elements are the watercolours activated with the 126 set colours over the top of the elements. So that is in the middle of that review video. It is timestamped, so you should find it pretty easily if you're interested in checking that out. And in that video, I also have a free downloadable comparison chart between the 72 set of watercolor pencils and the standard set of 126 colored pencils. So if that is of interest to anyone as well, that is in that video, which I will tag up here and also down in the video description too. So other than Artex pencil sets, there is a little bit of Jelly Roll glaze and some Tooly Art white acrylic paint pens. No added sparkle or anything, just some sweet, simple, delicate colouring this time. So I'll lift it up closer, but there's nothing to see, there's no sparkle. Just some simple pencil work. And that is Small Victories for this month. Alrighty, where to next? Let's go to Fragile World by Kirby Roseannes. This is my project book at the moment. It is just a placeholder until Dark Fairy Tales is released in March of 2025, which may be our next full book colour along. Stay tuned. And we will be colouring in this book each month as a project book. until then, and of course every page is up on the channel as a colour along too. And for this month I coloured the leopard page, and I love the contrasting colours of orange and blue, like I mentioned with Rims of Wonder by Joanna Basford. These are complementary colours, so they always look really well put together on a page. I did use my Albrecht Dürer watercolour pencils to base some of the elements, and then I used my polychromos over the top to add shading, and I also used my polychromos for all the other elements on the page too. There is a heap of Tulia white acrylic paint pen on the snow to cover all of those black lines, and I did add some of the Imagine Crafts shimmer spray and frost in the background. I used frost as it has more of a white finish to it, so I thought it'd look more like sparkly snow than the sparkle colour, which I usually use. So the sparkle colour is very fine, it's silvery, but also a little transparent or translucent, so you see the silvery sparkle but you don't see any colour, if that makes any sense. It just kind of looks shimmery. Whereas with the frost, it kind of shows little white spots, which I thought would be a little bit better to give more of an illusion of snow. And I'll actually lift this up and see if you can see that as well. So it should pick up on the camera a little better than the sparkle colour, because it does have that white tint to it. The light is shining in my eyes, so I can't really see if we're catching that sparkle. Or even if we're in focus. Are we in focus? Well, let's hope so. Okay. So that was Fragile World by Kirby Roseanne's. I have had a few requests to do the opposite page, so stay tuned. That may be coming for December. So, while we're on the topic of Kirby, I have a buddy colour to show you from Geomorphia by Kirby Roseanne's with the lovely Alex from @Jamali_creative on Instagram, and I'll tag all the social media accounts I mentioned today down below so you can go and check them all out. Now, both Alex and I have a love for giraffes, so of course we had to colour the giraffe page. I'll pop Alex's page up on the screen right here for you all to have a look. I love how realistic Alex's giraffes are, and her pink clouds are really pretty. And with the purple background, they contrast really nicely with those giraffes too. And of course, her beautiful glowy islands as well. So thank you, Alex, for buddying with me yet again. I have not picked up Geomorphia in what feels like years. It was really nice to pick the book up again and get another page completed in this book. Geomorphia was actually my first ever Kirby book, and it holds my first ever coloured page, which was this one, my first ever coloured page in a Kirby book. And that is from Christmas of 2019. That is exactly 5 years ago to the month. Well, December, so close, almost exactly 5 years ago since I coloured my very first Kirby page. So for my page, I wanted to do a limited palette. I coloured the giraffes first with these lovely golden brown tones, and then I added in this sky where I took some of the lighter tones from the giraffes, but then I added in some sort of light purple tones as well, and I ended up bringing the purple tones into the clouds. So for the clouds, I think I used it was black cherry, dark purple, dahlia purple, which you'd never guess by looking at them, but then I blended them out with the golden brown tones, which sort of dulled down that really bright pinky purples, which was exactly the look I was going for, because I think it adds a little bit of warmth to the page. I wanted a sun-drenched savanna kind of effect. I think I would have probably liked a little bit more contrast between the giraffes and the clouds. They do seem to blend in a little bit, but at the same time, I'm actually really happy with the results as well. I've used Prismacolor pencils for the entire page. Yeah, the entire page is Prismacolor pencils. I did cover the black lines on the clouds with a Tulia paint pen. I originally started with a lighter, creamier acrylic paint color, but it wasn't coming out very opaque. it was giving me a little bit of grief actually, and it was starting to pull out the purple tones of the clouds and give them a pink kind of bleed through, which you can sort of see little bits of it still here if you look really closely. But I ended up going over it with a darker, more eggshell color, and it was a lot more opaque and it covered really nicely. But they were both from Twilly Art, and I actually think maybe they were both from the same set too. I can't remember. Actually, is this the one I used here? I think this is the one I ended up going with. Yeah, it looks like it. So this is from the pastel set, number 23. And I can't remember the original one I was using, but it was a really pale creamy color, which might have actually made the giraffes stand out a little bit more because it would have lightened the background a little bit. Whereas this is a sort of a little bit too similar to the colors. But the other one wasn't opaque enough, and it doesn't matter how much I shook it. Oh, and I have found that with some of the Twilly Art, some of them are thicker and more opaque than others, no matter how many times you go over them. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be using that creamy one again because it just doesn't cover the black lines either, but it worked out well in the end, I think, and I really like this page as well. I love the end result. So that's Geomorphia by Kirby Roseanne. It was fantastic to pick this book up again after so many years, and thank you to Alex for buddying with me again. It is always a lot of fun, and we'll have to do it again soon. Okay, next let's look at Sargon from Maria Trolle, and I will leave the Christmas colouring pages right until the end. I have a review for this book up on the channel which has purchase links from iMusic in the video description. I know a lot of people are looking for this book. iMusic does ship worldwide. If the shipping costs are too high, you may want to wait for the English edition, but that will be released next year. And the English translation for Sargon is fairy tales or folk tales, so keep your eye out for that one. It should have the same sort of cover as this one. So the page I chose to colour is this one here. Now there is a colour along up on the channel for this page as well, and this is the brother and sister fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm, and I thoroughly enjoyed every moment while colouring this page. I absolutely adore this book. All the pages are so much fun, they're so pretty. I think it might be my #1 favourite Maria Trolle book. So many beautiful images to colour. Look at this. I love these full pages that she's doing. These two are two of my favourites as well, but these full pages where she's kind of like bordered it off, and there's a beautiful trees and sometimes rivers, creeks, landscapey pages, and then maybe some cute little critters and some people in there. And there are quite a few of those pages in this book. So I'm really, really enjoying it. And you know, once we finish Rooms of Wonder by Joanna Basford, I will be on the lookout for another full book colour along that is not Kirby and is not Joanna. So this could be on the list. Love, love, love this book. So again, another page completely coloured with Prismacolor pencils. There is some KJ design by Karen paint on the moon and these stars. Some Twilly Art paint pens covering the black lines on our tree leaves, and also all these sort of bushes as well. Now I love the contrast between the pinky purples in the sky and the yellow greens of the bushes and the tree leaves. I also brought in this sort of reddish pink tone too, just to break it up a little bit and add a pop of colour to the page. I think it gives the page a good contrast between warm and cool colours as well. And I think this is one of my favourite pages that I coloured this month. I do love this book very much, and I can't wait to colour in it some more. So let me know down below if you want to see more colour alongs from this book in the future. And let me know also, have you purchased this book, or are you looking to purchase this book? Because it is one of Maria's best, in my opinion. So that is Sargon by Maria Trolle. And now we're on to some Christmas colouring. So my first Christmas page of the season was a buddy colour with the lovely Geordie from Geordie Colours here on YouTube in God Yule, or Merry Christmas, I think it is, by Hannah Carlson. And we decided to colour the reindeer page here. Now I will pop her colouring page up on the screen here. I absolutely love the colour palette Geordie's used. It is giving a cool wintry effect. It is such a fun page. especially a really good page to kick off the Christmas season with as well. Now, we both use plenty of sparkle on our pages, but it is hard to capture the sparkle in a photograph. So if you go over and watch Geordie's completed pages videos for November, you will get to see all of the sparkle and shine she's added to her page in action. And I'll try to show you the sparkle on my page in a minute as well. So for my page, I did consider using traditional red and green Christmas colours, but we actually have a coffee shop in town which has a Christmas tree up with white, pink and blue pastel decorations, and it looks really pretty. So that was my inspiration behind my colour palette for this page. I ended up bringing through this yellow tone as well to the smaller flowers. Originally, I had started to colour a couple of them white with a slight pink or blue tone, depending on the flowers that were closest to it, but it ended up blending in too much and I wanted something that would stand out a little bit more. And I knew I was going to have these sort of golden accents, so I thought a nice yellow colour would match really well with the rest of the colour scheme. Now for the background here, I did use a mix of greens, blues and pinks to kind of create a soft blurry effect. And then I went for a nighttime bokeh effect behind Rudolph here as he's flying through the sky. And for the gold accents and border, I used KJ Design by Karen metallic paints. For the blue on the borders here, I used Jelly Roll Metallic and also a Jelly Roll Stardust, which was actually a happy accident. I picked up the wrong gel pen as I was colouring. It was all meant to be the same with this sort of like light blue metallic Jelly Roll here, but when I'd been testing out the colours to see which ones would look best, I had left a couple on my desk. So when I went to pick up the colour, I picked up the Stardust instead. So we have two slightly different blues, but it works really well. It is a very subtle difference in colour, and I actually think I like the wrong colour, the mistake colour, better, because instead of having the metallic on the centre here, we end up with the Stardust colour, and I think it just looks really pretty. I quite like it. I also used a Sparkle Pop pen in silver for the glow around Rudolph's nose here too. And on the background, just around the reindeer here, I did use my Imagine Crafts Sheer Shimmer Spray in Sparkle. Now I can see it very clearly in person. I will try and capture it on camera for you, so hopefully you can see it. Oh, and also all the pencil work is Prismacolor pencils too. So I'll just lift it up and hopefully we can see some of this. The gold should show really well, I think. I don't know about the sparkle, the Sheer Shimmer Spray. I don't know if that's going to show. You can see the gold. The camera's picking up the gold. So the blue is, that's the metallic blue, and then that's a Stardust. These things here are the Stardust, and this is the Stardust as well. So, oh, and I almost forgot the red Jelly Roll glaze too. Just on, is it just on here? Yeah, just on these little sections of the border. Yeah, so I don't think the Sheer Shimmer Spray is going to show, but that is all of the beautiful sparkle. So thank you, Geordie, for buddying with me again. We'll have to do it again once the craziness of the next month or two is over. Also, I know a lot of people are still searching for this book. I purchased my copy from iMusic. That's where I get all my Hannah and also my Maria Trolley books, like I mentioned before. Otherwise, English editions, like I said, they're going to be out next year, but unfortunately you're going to miss the Christmas period for this one. Hopefully it'll be out in time for Christmas in July though, so we might need to do another few colour alongs in Christmas in July too, just to fill this book up a little bit more. This is my favourite Christmas book actually at the moment. Oh, now that I've said that, I've got another Christmas book to show you. I spoke too soon. Okay, so my last completed page before I show you any WIPS is from RJ Hampson's Christmas Tiny Homes, and I coloured, oh, there's my bookmark, it's falling inside. I coloured the south page here. Just make sure it's fully in camera. Do I need to zoom you out? No, you can see that. This was such a fun time. It has been stinking hot here lately, and I think we're in for a really hot summer here down in the southern hemisphere. This page just fit perfectly. I am so happy with how this page turned out. I love the sky, I love the water, I love the birds, and I would also love to be on that beach right now too. So there is a colour along up on the channel for this page as well. I did use a mix of alcohol markers to base everything. Yeah? Yep, it was basing everything with alcohol markers. I used Ohuhu's, Artex, Spectrum Noir, Tri-Blends. If you are following along with the colour along, you can use any brand of alcohol markers that you own, that you have that are similar in colour. I don't have a full set, so that's the only reason I mix and match. But you don't have to use the same brands as me, just colour match them. It doesn't matter what brand you're using. I then went in on top of the basing with my Prismacolor pencils. I absolutely love how smooth and vibrant the sky has turned out. And I had an idea in mind for the birds, and they ended up looking just how I imagined them in my mind. I love when that happens. So I think this might be another favourite of mine for this month too. I didn't really use much else on this page other than a white acrylic paint pen. I have gone and stocked up on a new pack of Tulia white acrylic paint pens because I do go through them quite a bit, especially if I'm colouring snow and waves. Two of my favourite things to colour, oceans and snow. So such a simple page, but effective and really fun. Plus, I finally managed to get a page completed in this book, so it is no longer uncoloured. And on that note, I do have 2 WIPs to show you today. And when I have both of them completed, which I will do in December, that leaves me with only 1 uncoloured book in my collection, which is the Mythographic Vault book. And I'll hopefully get a page completed in that too. I was hoping to get one done in November, but time got away from me and there wasn't any time to get that coloured. So hopefully in December. And if I do, that will leave me with no uncoloured books and no WIPs in my collection by the end of the year. So that would be wonderful. That will be my goal that I set at the beginning of the year completed. So let's take a look at my first WIP, which is in Rhapsody in the Forest by Kanoko Oguso. Now, I flipped through this book a few times. I wasn't quite sure where to begin. There's so many beautiful pages in this book, very detailed pages as well. There wasn't one particular page that was drawing my attention. So what I decided to do was actually follow a colour along by the wonderful Chris Cheng. Now, I'm going to turn this way so you can see it better. Now, she has coloured both of these pages on this sort of tan-toned type of paper. Now, I do have tan-toned paper, but I rarely use it. So I thought this would be a great chance to have a practice exercise on shadows and highlights with the darker paper colour. Now, I'm not too good at following colour alongs or instructions in general. So what I've been doing is looking at the end result and then for finding out what colours she used. So having a look and seeing what colours she used for the elements, and then just sort of working out the colour placements and stuff by myself. So it is taking some time. It's been a fun process, and it's always good to learn from someone else, especially somebody as talented as Chris. So it's coming along nicely. Still lots to do, but I'm just doing it in my spare time, like while I'm waiting for videos to upload and things like that. So there's not much left to do. It's mostly leaves. One more flower here, which I think I'm going to match it to this one. I'm not quite sure yet. And then it's just the background as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I was thinking of doing, matching it. It's very similar in shape. Yeah, so that is my WIP from Rhapsody in the Forest. So I'll have to do a colour along myself, my own colour along in this. Look at that. See, that's a beautiful double page spread. Lots of details. I just don't think I can do something so detailed at this time of the year. I need something a little bit more simple that I don't have to think too much about, just to get through this crazy period until we get to January. So I might do a colour along. There is a page in this book. Oh, this one. Oh, maybe. Now my December plans, I'm going to film this in a moment. Well, tomorrow. So this is a possibility. Maybe I might put this in my December plans video because I really, really love this page. I might actually... Where did I move everything to? Oh, you know what? I've got something marked here. I'm going to take that tag out and mark that. And then maybe we might see it again in December plans. That's a possibility too. Really like that page. So I'll have to think about that because I think I'm going to film my December plans video tomorrow sometime. Now, the last page I have to show you is another WIP, and I am super proud of how it is so far. It's coming together exactly how I hoped it would. Actually, that seems to be the theme for this month for me. Sometimes things just never seem to work out how you want them to, and other times they just all fall into place. After my missing mojo at the start of the month, it certainly has found its way back to me, thank gosh. Anyway, this is Serenity. There we go. Serenity by Anastasia Koldareva. Do we say... I see a lot of people say Anastasia. I feel like saying Anastasia, but I see so many people call her Anastasia, so I'm just going to say Anastasia Koldareva. Now, I promised myself I would not purchase any more of Anastasia's books until I coloured in the one that I have, this one here. And I have been in love with this specific page since I purchased this book many years ago, but have not been able to bring myself to colour in it yet. So this is my first ever page in this book. And how absolutely stunning is this gorgeous woman. I love how Anastasia draws faces. They are unbelievably realistic. She is such a talented lady. I really would like to get more of her books. I'll just show you. No, look at that. The way she draws her features, and I love the way she draws her hair too. But look how beautiful her face is. Her talent amazes me. Like, the way she captures these features, you can actually just picture what they would look like in real life. They're so realistic. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous book. I love the front on profiles. Look at that. Front on portraits. Profile is side on. Front on portraits. I don't know what I'm talking about today. Just keeping her little wasps. Are they wasps? Look at the little faces of them. They look like little aliens with wings. They're so cute. Anywho, I'm getting distracted. So, the colour combo I have used for her skin, if anybody is interested, if they're wondering, I used the skin tone. It's from my skin tone combo series for Prismacolors, which I will tag the video either up above or down below. And I used the advanced combos, the last one, the bottom right one with the purple undertones. I think she looks fabulous. The hair is taking me some time now, but it's looking good. I really like how it's turning out. I'm still undecided on a colour for her dress and also the flower in her hair. Now, I did ask a while ago if anyone knew what the flower was. And I did note it down on a post-it note, which I thought I had stuck somewhere in the book, but clearly I did not, because it's gone walkabouts. So if anybody does remember what this flower is, can you please let me know in the comment section so I can get an idea of some colours that I might want to use for it. And then from the flower colour, I might also be able to pick the dress colour so they can sort of match somewhat. I'm also thinking I might use soft pastels for the background. I don't want to detract from the main focus of the page, which is this beautiful lady here. So I'll have to come up with a colour palette to help make her beauty stand out. So whatever I use for the flower and her dress, I'll pick something soft and complementary to use in the background, I think, because, yeah, something that's just going to make her pop. That's what I'm going to have to try and figure out. So I am really happy that I have started in this book finally, and super happy with how the page is progressing too. I think she looks amazing so far. Hopefully I can continue to do this page justice. And that is everything I have to show you for November. So my December plans video will be coming out in the next few days. I'm planning on filming that one tomorrow. I'm going to have a look and see what sort of Christmassy pages we can colour. I haven't had much time to colour Christmas pages most Christmases. So this is the first year I've actually really gotten to colour multiple Christmas pages. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can find for December. I'd also love to know what your favourite page was from my November completed pages. I think if I had to narrow it down to a top 3, it'd be the Mossy Isles from Magical Worlds, the Fairy Tale page from Sagan, and possibly Christmas Tiny Homes too. If this was finished, this might be a favourite because at the moment I'm absolutely obsessed with the way it's turning out. But on that note, thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody is well. Take care, happy colouring, and bye for now.